The most common question I get asked is how did I come up with the idea for the jelly prawn? And basically it came from a lifetime spent using live prawns for bait. We wanted to make a lure that really represented a prawn. So the best way we could do that was to make our moulds for our lures from a real prawn. So we took a real prawn, created the mould, and we had a product that had the exact shape of a real prawn. The next thing we had to do was make sure that it had the action of a prawn. And I know from using prawns, a prawn glides forward naturally, but when it's distressed it actually flicks backwards. So what we wanted to do was create a lure that did exactly that. And the solution was to rig the prawn pretty much the opposite way to what every other prawn lure is rigged. So instead of drawing the lure from the front, we draw the lure from the back. We weight the body of the lure sufficiently such that when it dives, it glides gently down in that natural gliding action of a live prawn. As we flick our rod tip, the tail will actually flick up and kick exactly as a live prawn does. The next step along the evolution of the lure was to incorporate eyes that really represented a live living prawn. We know when we're using live prawns for bait that if you drag them out of the water, if the eyes are hanging down, if they're looking limp and lifeless, your prawn's no good. You take it off, chuck it away. If the eyes are standing up and bright and shiny, you know your prawn's alive, you can put him back down, keep fishing and into the big fish. So we've been very particular, and a lot of time and effort goes into ensuring that every jelly prawn lure that we make has stalked eyes which shine and glimmer that and reflect that light exactly as a live prawn does. And the resulting package is a lure that looks exactly like a prawn, glides like a prawn, kicks like a prawn, and does everything that a live prawn does. Now as we went along with the jelly prawn lure, a lot of people were catching lots of great fish on, but they just wanted to extend their range and where they could fish. They said they wanted to have the confidence to be able to put the lure right in the back of the snaggiest country and know that they weren't going to get snagged up. So the solution we had for that was what we call our weedless jelly prawn. These are rigged with far less hook exposed and with half as much weight. Same grade action as the original jelly prawn, but it just means that you can really finesse it through the twigs. You can chuck it in the back of the roughest snag in the world, finesse it back, and you know you're not going to snag up. But some people were still hooked on this idea of a forward swimming prawn. They like to use along a long snaggy bank or a long rocky bank or over the flats. They like to be able to glide that prawn, and let's face it, when prawns are migrating they do swim forwards with that straight swimming action. But having said that, there's still a lot of action there. When the prawn's swimming, its legs stick down and to the side and they beat like crazy. So what we wanted to do was try to replicate that swimming action of the prawn. Our solution was to rig this small blade underneath the belly of the prawn. As you drag that lure through the water, that blade spins and vibrates. That sends out vibrations through the water as well as that visual movement, and that gives the exact same action and look and vibration of a real prawn swimming through the water. And this is a new product we got out and it's absolutely smashing the fish. So we think we've got every base covered now. We've got our original jelly prawn for fishing deeper water. We've got our weedless jelly prawn for fishing in really snaggy country, and we've got our forward swimmer which can just be cast and retrieved and used to cover a lot more country in a lot shorter time. So between all those lures we've got the range covered, and any country that you want to fish, be it from 1 foot deep down to 40, 60 feet deep, there's a jelly prawn lure to suit your application. So go out there, get online, www.jellyprawnlures.com, and order a pack, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed.